Good day. God bless you. Welcome back, guys. My name is Zach, and this is episode 76 in the Healthy, Wealthy, Happy series. Book of James, chapter 2, verse 5. Hearken, my beloved brethren, hath not God chosen the poor of this world rich in faith and heirs of the kingdom which he hath promised to them that love him? So, guys, love yourself. Love yourself. Treat yourself like somebody that matters. Care for your health and your diet and your fitness. You don't have to obsess about your weight to love yourself. You don't have, you quit making excuses for every way that you want to fail. You have an excuse to do so. It's like, love yourself. Let's start succeeding. A quote from Lao Tzu, the author of the Tao Te Ching: being deeply loved by someone gives you strength, while loving someone deeply gives you courage. And it kind of went along with that Bible verse for today to just um, be love. And when you love someone, you will be encouraged. And when you love yourself, you'll be encouraged. So, guys, I'm on day 1 of the Atkins phase 1. If you're following along, I changed it up from the 400 calorie meals to the 20 carbs a day on the Atkins phase 1. And I am not well, for one, I did not get to sleep last night until like 2 in the morning. I was playing video games for a little bit, but not very late. I turned it off at my normal bedtime, even before my normal bedtime. And I laid down to go to bed, and I don't know, I wasn't tired. I was thinking about shit, whatever. But then, I didn't oversleep too bad, so I still got up by like 8:30 or something like that. So, I woke up my normal 5:30. My alarm goes off every day because I don't want to ever turn it off because of my rotating shift. I don't, 4 on, 4 off. It's like, I just leave it on every day. And when it went off, I was so confused. I was like, why is that going off? What day is it? Am I this tired and have to go to work? And it took me a good 15 seconds before I realized, wait a minute, let's go back to bed. So there was an electrical fire in my apartment building today. I don't know how severe it was, if it was just a little short and some smoke, or if there was actually some flames. I have no clue. I could smell it big time in the elevator earlier today. And if I had any, if I was intelligent, I probably would have abandoned the building. But I was like, nah, they got it. And then I found out through the grapevine that there was an electrical fire in the building or some short circuiting or something. So it must have messed up the boiler, because now there is no hot water. But thankfully, I take cold showers anyway. So like I said, I'm on day 1 of the Atkins low carb. So I just finished a 4-day fast. So there was no carbs in my body already. Like I said, I feel great on my first day of fasting. I feel okay on my first couple of days of eating, to work out and go to the gym. So last night I had my one meal, and I did good. I didn't overdo it on the carbs and nothing, no junk food. I'm to the point where I was rifling through my cupboards looking for any kind of snack. There's just not any, and I'm not getting any. So, like I said, I kind of was woozy waking up today. My alarm went up at 5:30. I turned it off. I woke back up at like 8, and I had 3 eggs and one of those chopsticks for breakfast. So right at about 8:30. So I had my chips going all day, and so I cooked the steak and the eggs. It's almost like a hamburger, right? It's like a chopstick. In butter and olive oil, the steak and olive oil, the eggs and butter. So the oil and butter and steak have 0 carbs, and the eggs have about a half a gram of carbs per egg. So that whole breakfast, 3 fried eggs and a steak, I was stuffed. I didn't eat I'll get to that point. So that was only 2 carbs. So it was a little low. Like I probably should have ate more. So there was the first 2 carbs, and I was so full I couldn't even think about eating for several hours. And it was getting to be about 11:30, and I was like, you know what? I'll hit the gym for a little bit, and then I'll eat lunch when I get back. So I got a great workout. I did like my 100 pounds, 100 reps on the big crunch machine. Really got me going. Like, I was pretty amped, and then I did some kettlebell swings and some yoga. And then I got on the treadmill for like 20 minutes, and I mostly walked, but I did a short sprint in the middle, like a 2-minute, just ramped it up a little bit and then cooled it back down. So it was a pretty easy workout today, but I don't know, guys. I am just like wiped out, wiped out. Like it's everything I can do since like 4 o'clock, and it's almost 8 o'clock. It's been everything I could do since 4 o'clock to not lay down because I'm like I'm gonna fall asleep the second I lay down. So I've been just watching YouTube videos. I read chapter 18, 19, and 20. I still didn't get to chapter 21, but now I'm poised to read 21 tomorrow in the Atkins third edition uh, new diet revolution book. So I'm excited to read chapter 21 is the psychology of weight loss. So my diet, my food was great. So I got back from the gym. I was still feeling pretty good, but I was like, man, I'm a little weak. Um, and I had made and then I had the salad for lunch. So that's where I got my big carbs because I loaded up all the veggies and I bought some ranch dressing, which I don't normally eat. But the salad has so low carbs. I'm like, it was getting to the point where like, how am I even gonna eat 20 carbs? Like if I don't eat any junk food or any, processed food, if you just eat meat, eggs, all I had today was, meat, eggs, and vegetables. So anyway, I'm not even sure, but I calculated the salad. Um, out to be like 10 carbs because the ranch has like 1 gram of carbs per 2 tablespoons or something like that, and I had a bit of it on the top. So after lunch, I mean, I was still full from breakfast. Like when I was at the gym, I could still feel that steak and eggs in me. It's really why I didn't want to run that much on the treadmill. It was just weighing me down, like, oh my god, this diet is very filling. So then I had through had I? No, I was just hanging out at the house. I ate my big salad and I was doing some research, and that's when I started reading and just trying to burn some clock up because I didn't have a lot going on today, cleaning up the house, paying bills and stuff. Um, so I threw a big rack of ribs in the oven. Oh, before that, I had an avocado. I forgot to write that down. I had an avocado in between lunch and dinner at like 3 o'clock. Um, and if you look up an avocado, it has like 13 grams of carbs, but it has 10 grams of fiber. So really, it only has 3 grams of carbs. So I was kind of happy because I was feeling like, man, that workout was burnt up every ounce of carbs I ate today, and when I ate after the workout, my body just sucked it up. And so in the past, I would have given up like the way I'm feeling right now. You could hear it in my throat, and I'm drugged down, but I'm going to push through this time because I know my body will convert over to burning fat for fuel in a much higher capacity. Um, you're probably thinking, Zach, you already been fasting for 4 days at a time all the time. It's like, yeah, but I've been refeeding the carbs on that first night every time of every one of those 96-hour fasts. Like I haven't been eating like low carb. I mean, I'm not been eating crazy. Like I haven't eaten bread or anything, but I've been eating carbs. I even had like, I had that stir fried rice and stuff a couple times. So anyway, well, the reason I'm saying that is because I just started Atkins after a 4 day fast. So I went from 0 carbs for 4 days to only 20 carbs for 4 days, and then I'm going to go back to the fasting, and we'll see if I can even maintain that. But I think I will be able to. I just have to push through. Probably, I'm guessing, hopefully by the end of these 4 days, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, because then I'll be back on fasting Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So after my avocado, I had taken a big rack of ribs out that my sister gave me. It's bigger than the screen. It was this big, guys, and cut it in half and threw it in the oven for a couple hours. And by the time that I seasoned it all up, and I put some like hot sauce because you don't want to use barbecue sauce. It's all full of sugar, but I use like some Louisiana salt and pepper and cumin and some Louisiana hot sauce and a little bit of like that smoky chipotle sauce, which has a couple carbs in it. So I only put a few drops of that on there, but you can really taste that. And they're pork ribs though, and I don't eat a lot of pork. And I ate 2 like big ribs. Maybe it was 3. I only remember cutting 2, but I was so stuffed I probably ate 3. And so that wasn't many carbs either, so I was like, this is all protein and fat, and the hot sauce has no carbs. So I just counted it as 2 carbs because the only thing that even had carbs was the smoky chipotle sauce. And I literally only put like 5 drops on a rack this big and spread it all around. And half of it probably dripped off when I cooked it back in the oven. So after dinner, I was sitting around. That was at like 5:30, 6 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock now, so that was a couple hours ago. And then I had boiled 3 eggs for kind of an emergency snack if I needed one. I had planned on saving them till tomorrow, actually, but I was so wounded. I went and grabbed all 3 of them, sliced them in half, put a little olive oil mayo, just like a teaspoon on each one, each half, and sprinkled some tiny little bacon bits I bought for my last 3 carbs. And I am wiped out. I'm not hungry. I can tell that my blood sugar was very under control, and there was no insulin being secreted. If you don't eat any shitty carbs, and even if you eat good carbs and too much, like if you eat, like I said, like when I was eating those whole cantaloupes, they're only 200 calories, but they're a lot of sugar, so they would induce an insulin response. If you're healthy, when you're fit, and when I'm down to 150, I can eat a whole cantaloupe, no problem. But for now, when I'm trying to really cut the weight down, the channel's blowing up. Thanks again, guys. Let's see. 2370 something. We pushing 2400 subscribers by the end of the weekend, and it's only been a few months. So I'm so thankful and so blessed to have you guys coming along for the ride. Oh, cheers, Angel. I didn't see you there. Thanks, man. It feels very encouraging to hear people say I'm doing awesome. I am going to keep grinding. Some people say it shouldn't be a grind, and it's like, well, sometimes it is. I think you could hear it in my voice and my demeanor today that today is a grind. I started off the day good, but I couldn't go to sleep till so late last night. That threw me off. It's probably half of why I'm just all out of energy right now. Stayed up till 2 a.m, just flipping through TV, and I don't even know what I was doing. But that reminds me, I wanted to bring up another habit I was getting into, and then I forgot about it, was to listen to my Audible books as I'm laying down for bed. You got your charger by your bed. Everybody puts their phone and got their alarm on there anyway. So open up your Audible, and I started listening to just either my habits ones or whatever ones you like, motivational ones. There's also some like weight loss hypnotism ones. I did it 2 nights a couple weeks ago. I can't remember if I even brought this up, but both nights I did it. The next day, when I tried to remember listening to it, and just as I was writing my notes, I was like, man, I got to tell these people, I don't remember hearing like 30 seconds of it, like a minute at the most, because I went back the next day because it lasts like an hour and then it ends. And so it just goes off while you're sleeping. So I played it. I was at work the next morning and I played it, and I started listening for like 20 seconds. And I was already like, well, I don't remember hearing this. Freaking out. So, and it's just telling you to take conscious control of your breathing. If you don't know why meditation focuses so much on breathing, it's because you breathe subconsciously. Like all day long, you're not thinking about it, but you can think about it, and you can take conscious control of your breath. And that's how you can take conscious control of your subconscious. And that's how hypnotism works, is by controlling that breath and thinking, like you're literally just thinking about breathing. And you start incorporating these positive thoughts while you're thinking about your breathing and focusing on your breath. And then those positive thoughts will get into your subconscious, because your breath is normally a subconscious thing. And there's so many things in your subconscious that you're unaware of. There's some things like I went to do it was kind of like a autobiography of yourself. It was through a psychologist that I had read his books and was doing his online course. Jordan Peterson, I brought him up. And there's a self-authoring course, it's called. And, you kind of break your life up into epochs, and this time to this time, this time to this time. And I wrote the time frames down in my life. I was born in Hennepin County Medical Center, and then I lived here till I was 5. And then from 5 to 10, I lived here. And then from 10 to 18, I lived here. And I broke it down in my military service and my marriage. And, that part I was getting through. And then it said, okay, go back to your farthest memories and let's start talking, start writing down, what your child was like. I immediately started bawling because I started having flashbacks and memories that I had never thought of in my entire 50 years on this planet. It was like a couple of years ago. So I was maybe 48 when I was doing this. And I never went back and did it yet, guys. Like it almost scared me. Like, oh my God, like it only took me a guided, I wasn't even talking to a human being live. It was just reading about it, reading this guy's instructions on his webpage, this self-authoring website. And I mean, I was pouring in tears immediately as all these memories started flashing into my head of my parents fighting and me crying all the time and not being happy seeing my parents fighting all the time. And, I never thought of those memories my entire life, and now I think about them regularly. It's like, hey, Zach, give yourself a little credit. You lived with that in the back of your mind, in the back of your subconscious for 48 years, 40 years of your life without even remembering it. And no wonder you've had some issues throughout your life, so I guess it's a process of discovering who you are and discovering what makes you who you are, and what's going to help you drive on to or grind on, as Angel said, to the next victory. So as far as mentally, like emotionally, like my heart and my spirit, I'm feeling great. I don't want you guys to think I'm down. I'm not down on the warrior mode. I am in beast mode, warrior mode. Like I am ready to keep kicking this out. It's only physically, and I think it's a combination of the new diet, the poor sleep last night. I think I worked out maybe just a little too hard, because that was like, I don't think I've taken a day off of the gym in like 3 days, which I don't typically work out 3 days in a row. I usually try to make it every other day, but I was kind of trying to make up for some days. But I was already back on track, and I was like, well, if I go for the third day in a row, then I'm just like ahead of the game. And so I think I've just worked out too hard. And then eating the pork ribs, pork has made me sick many times in my life. So I think it's just a combination of all those things. But I'm gonna drive through. I'm gonna lay down like right after this, and I bet you I'm sleeping, and I bet you I'll be way more energetic on tomorrow's video. What time is it? 8 o'clock. What is this, Saturday? Usually have way more live viewers. Oh, it's Saturday. People are out doing stuff. They're not sitting home watching their YouTube subscriptions. But guys, thank you for coming along for the ride. Jesus loves you. Jump on board with Jesus. He is the winner. You're a winner. That's how I know you're going to jump on board with Jesus, because he's the winner. And you're a winner. And when we're on his team, we all win. He loves you. I love you. And guys, I'm cutting it short. I will catch up with you guys again tomorrow evening.